Okay, so you've probably heard that half of all marriages end in divorce, but in Harris County, that number's even higher. 60% of marriages end in divorce in our area.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is not something necessarily that people are asking about all the time because it's something that people are kind of quiet about, right?
Sure.
You might normally ask your hairdresser or your mom or your friend. And so the reason we wanted to tackle this topic is because you're likely getting wrong information from those people. Family law attorney Trey Yates runs the Guide to Good Divorce workshop. So that he joined me for this week's episode of Ask Amy to talk about some common divorce misconceptions that maybe come out of these conversations with your friends and family. First, he says that a lot of people think that the law requires that husbands and wives split property and assets equally or 50-50. We hear that, Texas is, yeah, that's what we have to do. But he says that's not stated anywhere in the Texas Family Code. A 50-50 split is generally a standard starting point, but he says the law says the court is charged with making a, quote, just and right division. Just good things to know going forward if you're moving forward in a divorce. Another misconception, he says, is that your spouse is going to have to pay you support after the divorce. You hear that a lot from like, oh, your spouse did this, he's going to have to pay for that. Well, there's no alimony in Texas.
Is that new? Or
no, that's always been that way. But you might hear that like, oh, a friend got this or a friend got that. A judge is not going to, cannot force alimony or spousal support. That might be something that
you have to agree on.
That you agree on. Now, you can agree on something called spousal maintenance, but Yates says it is not easy to get. Most people don't qualify. There are all these misconceptions from just things that you hear in normal conversation about like, oh, this, or just ask for that, or you'll get this. And a lot of these things you don't know until you may be going through a divorce, that those are simply not true.
Absolutely.
But there was no real place for you to ask these questions or learn this information, or maybe you didn't have a need to before.
Or the conduit for information is your hairdresser or your mother or your sister or your best girlfriend that may have been through the experience themselves. Not really the best place to get advice for a legal proceeding.
Right.
And this is also kind of a shocker for a lot of people, and that is a divorce is a lawsuit. You're in the highest trial court in the state of Texas, okay? Sure, most of our divorces end because people get together and they put together an agreement in mediation or informal settlement conferences. But the truth of the matter is you always have to be thinking about if you and your spouse can't come to an agreement, what would a judge do? And so the rules of evidence and procedure, the family code itself is this big book. And the other thing is it changes every 2 years when our legislatures go back to Austin. So you want to be working with professionals that have a focus on the ever-changing landscape.
All right, so you can learn more about preparing for divorce on today's Ask Amy episode. It's at 11 a.m. on KPRC 2+.